You understand now what is call operation of a vector field at a point and what is its physical significance. In Cartesian coordinate we have derived it and mathematically also have got it. They are both same, but the significance is important. What does it tell? So, you are getting 3 components, then add them to get the total curl of the vector field at that point. Like for example, if you are getting curl V, then x or x unit vector, then curl V y, then curl V z, right? 3 components with respect to 3 areas, then add them all. If you are adding, then you are getting that is your curl of V at that point. 3 components, one along x, another along y, third is along z, then add them all to get the net curl of the vector at that point. And you note it down and try to solve it yourself with curl and divergence. I told you about the relation between this V, which is r cross omega, velocity, linear velocity and angular velocity. So, if you find this curl of this velocity, so that it is equal to this, prove it. Curl of that velocity is 2 times the angular velocity. Then similarly evaluate curl of r is a position vector, then if a vector is equal to twice x z square x cap minus y z y cap plus 3 x z cube z cap, then find del cross a and del cross del of cross a, these two at the point 1 1 1. Then third, evaluate divergence of curl V vector field, and similarly evaluate curl of grade u, gradient of scalar function u. Then the electric field due to a charge q is expressed as, you know, this E vector equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square, then r cap. Then show that divergence of the electric field at that point is 0. Then evaluate divergence of r vector divided by r cube, and evaluate again divergence r unit vector, where r is the position vector. Of course, this is there, you have to show this one, maybe number 8. Then this is all about Cartesian coordinate system, right. Then of course, another is there that I will have to tell. You know about this spherical polar coordinate, curvilinear coordinate. So, what do you mean by that coordinate? Like x, y, z in Cartesian coordinate, how will be the point represented if it is curvilinear coordinates? By r, theta and phi, right. Like x, y, z in Cartesian coordinate system, if it is r, theta and phi, then that is called as the curvilinear coordinate system. Then if it looks like this, suppose for example, then here is a point, let us say P, then it goes in this direction, and this point if you draw not perpendicular, then here, then it will go and this angle is your theta, this is your r up to this point P, and this angle is phi. These are the values of r, theta and phi. and if it is there, then you can tell that is your Cartesian spherical polar coordinate. This is z direction, this is this is x, y, z, right. So, when it is in terms of this r, theta and phi, a point is represented by these three coordinates. R is called as the position vector, that you know, measured from this origin here, and this theta is the angle made by that position vector with the z direction, and phi is the angle between y direction and the line joining from the origin to the perpendicular, foot of perpendicular, dropped from that point to the plane y x. So, this angle is phi, this angle is theta, and this distance is r. Here is the point P, right. And generally this theta angle is called as the r is position vector of that point, theta is the polar angle, and phi is the azimuthal angle. So, then now the question is, if you know about these three coordinates x, y, z for the same point P, the P can be represented by three coordinates, Cartesian coordinates x, y and z also, right. But now you have to represent the same point in terms of polar coordinates r, theta and phi. Then there should be some relation between x, y, z and r, theta, phi, right. So, then what is the relation for x, for y and for z? How can you represent them in terms of polar coordinates? Cartesian coordinate in terms of polar coordinate. From the diagram you can find it out and tell what is the value of x, y and z. Same point P in Cartesian coordinates x, y, z, in polar coordinates r, theta, phi. Point is same P. So, there must be relation between x, y, z and r, theta, phi. Then what that relations are? What will be x in terms of r, theta, phi? R, yes, r sin theta into sin or cos. If it is if you draw perpendicular here, then the coordinates, if you change, if it is y and z, then it is the same thing or changing. So, this is phi, then x is how much? Which one is x? This or not? This is your x, right. So, this distance is equal to how much? This is your phi. So, you have to find out x means this value, then how much is this x? R is there, right. If this angle is theta, this is also theta in the right angle triangle, then this is r. So, obviously, this is your r sin theta, right. Then what about phi? Because that is in space, the point is in space, not in a plane. This projection, this one, xy plane is this one, this one. So, if you drop a perpendicular to that, then which is the projection? This is phi, and this angle, how much is that angle? This angle 90, right. Then which one you have to find out now? From this right angle triangle relate phi. You need this distance or this distance or this distance. Triangle has three sides. So, which distance you need now? When just differentiate in these two will be, here is cos and there is sin, right. But tell which is cos, which is sin. This will be r sin theta if sin phi. I x is equal to sin phi, this is cos phi. It has two, x is x and y. Then what are these two values for x and y from this diagram?
According to the diagram, x will be r sin theta sin phi.
So, sin phi means you are telling this one? This one. Sin phi means this angle is phi. So, sin phi is opposite side.
So, the angle between x and y is 90 degree, and if that is phi, then the other angle between x axis and
This angle is phi. This angle is phi, this angle is 90. It is like this. This is 90, this is phi. Then sin phi will be obviously this, right. This by the hypotenuse. Opposite side to hypotenuse is the sin value, sin phi. right? Then which one you will take? In the right angle triangle, if this angle is phi, opposite side by hypotenuse. You cannot vary it. If you change it is wrong. Cos is adjacent side to hypotenuse, sin is all the time opposite side to hypotenuse with respect to that angle, phi, or not? This relation what I told, here it is if let us say x and h, then what is your sin phi? It must be x by h, and cos is, if it is y, then y by h. You cannot change that. Then now tell.
So if the projection on xy plane of r will be r sin phi, and then we have to take the component of if we take the x component, so it will be, so that angle between x and projection of r on xy plane will be 90 minus phi.
Which one?
The angle between projection of r on xy plane and x axis.
R and xy plane is this one.
Projection of r on xy axis.
Here is the foot of perpendicular. Projection point is here. Then which one is the projection of that R on this plane? This one?
Yes, sir. And between x axis.
Between?
The angle between this projection and x axis will be 90 minus phi.
This angle you are telling.
Yes, sir.
This angle is?
90 minus phi.
Huh?
Sir, so if the projection value is r sin phi, r sin theta, then the x component will be r sin theta sin phi. It will be cos 90 minus phi, which will be sin.
This is 90 minus phi, right? Then you are telling this value. Sin of 90 minus theta means phi is which value? If this is the angle 90 minus phi, then sin of 90 minus phi will be this one, or not? Sin of 90 minus phi is again cos phi. Which length you want to take, you multiplied by which length you tell. R sin theta is all right, right? Then what to multiply to get the x component?
According to this diagram, it will be sin.
According to this diagram? Now why and how? That tell. Which length you will multiply, which value you have to multiply to get the value of x. If you take this value, this is phi, then cos phi refers to which one? This side. No, adjacent side, because this angle is 90. This angle is 90.
Sir, hypotenuse will be r sin theta.
Hypotenuse will be r
Sin theta.
theta or phi. Which one you are telling? Theta is here.
Sir, in xy plane.
No, xy is this one.
Sir, considering that triangle that you have drawn outside, there y and h and phi.
This is phi. This angle is phi.
The hypotenuse of that triangle will be r sin
Hypotenuse is this one. Sorry, this one.
and this one. And its value will be r sin theta.
Theta, where is theta here? This triangle refers to phi, not theta.
But the value of hypotenuse will be r sin theta. The projection of r on xy plane. Its value will be r sin.
If you drop a perpendicular, it will be here. Foot is here to xy plane. Right? Foot will be here or not? If you drop a perpendicular from that point to xy plane, where it will be? Here only. Then what you want to get, tell first. Projection point is here with respect to P. Which length will be multiplied so that you will get the value of x? This is x, y, z and also r theta phi. Both are there. But we are now relating x to r theta phi, y to r theta phi, z to also r theta phi. All three. Which is correct? You are correct or I am correct? Okay, let us do it yourself and tell me, but for the time being, I am accepting it is cos, the other one is sin. If anything wrong you are getting, then tell me and we will do that.
Sir, if you are taking that as x axis and this is y axis,
Which one?
in this diagram, x cross y should come in the positive z.
This is your xy, I have shown it.
I think that x will be that and y will be this.
This is x, this is y.
Sir, but
That I told with respect to this diagram only.
if you take x there and y there, then the z will go.
No, I am telling with respect to this diagram. I cannot change the axis. That is up to you. You can change, but I cannot. I am asking with respect to this diagram. That's why I am telling you. This is the diagram. I cannot change it. Accordingly, you have to tell, right? So you check it with, if you found any problem, then tell me. So this is x value, this is y value, then what will be the value of z? Z will be, right? These are the values of x, y, z in terms of r, theta and phi, which are called as the curvilinear coordinates, right? And you know the meaning of curvilinear coordinates, right? Curvilinear coordinates means it is in terms of position vector, polar angle and azimuthal angle. Azimuthal angle is phi, polar angle is theta, r is the position vector of that point, right? So now the question is, so if I will write this vector A, then how you are representing in terms of r, theta, phi, like x, y, z? In Cartesian coordinate we are writing what? If it is A, then I am writing A x, x, A y, y, A z, z, right? In Cartesian coordinates. Similarly, you can write also in the polar coordinates. Then how can you represent it? Similar way, exactly similar, just x, y, z will be replaced by r, theta, phi, caps, right? So then now the question is, if you think here is a unit vector direction, r unit vector is that, right, same direction. So this is the direction of r cap, then which is your theta cap? This is theta cap and this is your phi cap, right? They are mutually perpendicular to each other, right? Then this A vector can be represented as A x into r cap plus A y into theta cap and A phi, A r, A theta, this is theta and this is A phi, because they have components, not like A x, A y, A z, rather it is A r, A theta, A phi, and accordingly they are multiplied by their respective unit vectors r cap, theta cap and phi cap, unit vectors, right? So then now tell what will be the value of this r cap, theta cap and phi cap, unit vector, in terms of theta, phi, x, y, x cap, y cap, z cap, right? You are getting 3 unit vectors, r cap, theta cap, phi cap in polar coordinates, in this curvilinear coordinates, and there you are getting x cap, y cap, z cap. So there should be also relation. Then what is the relation between r cap, theta cap, phi cap and x cap, y cap, z cap? First tell r cap, what is the value? R cap, you verify it, I am writing, it is sin theta cos phi x cap plus sin theta sin phi y cap plus cos theta z cap. R cap is in terms of now x cap, y cap, z cap, theta, phi. All the meanings are known, x cap, y cap, z cap, theta, phi, r, everything. This r cap is the unit vector, this direction, having magnitude 1. Similarly, what will be theta cap and phi cap? These are unit vectors, r cap, phi cap, theta cap. What will be the value of theta cap then? Theta cap will be cos theta, cos phi, then x cap plus cos theta sin phi y cap plus minus sin theta z cap, right? R cap and theta cap are explained in terms of x cap, y cap, z cap, r theta, theta and phi. Similarly, another unit vector, that is phi cap, is how much? It is minus sin phi x cap plus cos phi y cap. So these are the 3 unit vectors, r cap, theta cap and this phi cap, in terms of unit vectors x cap, y cap, z cap, theta and phi, obviously, right? So now you are correlating Cartesian coordinate with the polar coordinate. How the coordinates are related, you know. How the unit vectors are related also now you know, right? So then if you know the value in one, then you can go for the other. There is nothing difference, only just transferring from Cartesian to curvilinear or curvilinear to Cartesian. right? Any one. You can go from either Cartesian to curvilinear or curvilinear to Cartesian, because the relations are well known now. Unit vectors are known and the values corresponding coordinates are also known. R theta phi are known, x, y, z are known, x cap, y cap, z, and theta cap, r cap, and phi cap, right? Then, so now the question is, if you are writing this thing, you tell now one thing, in Cartesian coordinate, how will you get the volume of an element with dr, d theta, d phi, there dx, dy, dz, right? In Cartesian coordinate, what is the infinitesimal volume? Dx, dy, dz. Similarly, here it will be dr, d theta, d phi, right? Then accordingly you can change it from Cartesian to here also, right? So, if the volume is d tau, then it will be dr, d theta, and d phi. There you are writing v volume for x, y, z, dx into dy into dz, but here it is dr into d theta into d phi. Then what will be the value? How can you represent that? This will be actually you should write it as dlr, dl theta, dl phi. They are lengths, not angles. To get the volume, you need the length, but one is related to r, another is to theta, another is to. This is wrong actually. You write this thing in terms of length to get the volume, right? So, this dlr means corresponding to r, corresponding to theta, and this is corresponding to phi, right? So, if you multiply, then you are getting the volume, and that volume is in which coordinate? Spherical polar coordinate or curvilinear coordinates, right? Then if you write that the same thing in terms of r, theta, and phi, how much you will get the volume? You have to know first what is dlr, what is dl theta, and what is dl phi, right? Then only you can multiply to get the value of volume. So, if you get these values and multiply, then ultimately it will tell you, you check it, it is r square sin theta dr, dr, d theta, d phi, right? Get dr, dlr, dl theta, dl phi, then multiply. Then ultimately it will give you r square sin theta dr, d theta, d phi, right? So, now the volume in polar coordinates or the curvilinear coordinate is given by this in terms of r theta phi, right? But in terms of Cartesian coordinate, you are telling it is dx, dy, dz, right? It is not dr, this is not correct relation. Dr, d theta, d phi is there, but along with that again another term is multiplied, that is r square sin theta. That you can check from the relation, what is dlr, what is dl theta, and what is dl phi. If you multiply, then you are getting this final result, and that is the volume of the parallelepiped, you can tell. But in curvilinear coordinates, and if it is in Cartesian coordinate, then it is dx, dy, dz, right? So, similarly, another thing you can write. Oh, so what will be the area? This is about volume. You know first coordinate, then volume, then area. Everything should be expressed in curvilinear coordinates also, right? You know volume in Cartesian coordinate, area in Cartesian coordinate, position in Cartesian coordinate. Similarly, when you go for curvilinear coordinates also, you should have to know the position, area, and volume. And volume is this, right? The volume will be this much. Similarly, area, what will be the area? How will represent an area? Let us say I will take dA, area, small elementary area. Then how will you write this area? What will be this value? It will be dl r, dl phi, theta cap. That area is a vector, elementary area. That is why here is theta cap, right? Actually, this is a vector. It has direction. So, the dl r, dl phi into theta cap. This tells only direction. Magnitude is this. Then what will the value of dl r and dl phi? If you substitute, then calculate, then it will give you, it is r dr d phi theta cap. dl r value, d phi value if you find and put, then it will give you r dr d phi then again same unit vector. So, the area vector, if I will take a sphere, let us say it is like this, it is sphere, right. Then if I will take here an elementary area and here is another, let us say this is your dA1 in this direction, then this will be in this direction, let us say dA2, these are vectors, right. And obviously, if you take the directions are either x, y and z, here is the center of the sphere. So, you can take any two areas like that, one is dA1, it has direction, similarly dA2 has direction, and these directions are implied by this cap, right. So, then now the question is, now you tell in this case, suppose there is a point r changes from where, theta changes from where to where, and phi changes from where to where. That is very important in spherical polar coordinate. You should have to know r can have minimum this value, maximum this value, theta should have minimum this value, maximum this value, phi should have minimum this value, maximum this value. The range is important. What should be the value of r first, then theta, then phi? R will be how much? R can go minimum value 0, right, point, but it can spread anywhere. If it is anywhere, then obviously you can tell it is from 0 to infinite, right. Then what will be the value of theta? 0 to how much? 2 pi, theta will be 0 to pi, but phi will be 0 to 2 pi. You check it, right. If it is curvilinear coordinate, r can go from 0 to infinite, when theta will be from 0 to pi and phi will be from 0 to 2 pi, because you have to integrate. For integration, limit is important. From where to where you will go, right. So, then regarding integration also I told you how many types of integrations that you know, how many types of integrations, because sometimes it is required to go for surface integration, sometimes volume integration, sometimes path integration, that depends on the situation, right. So, accordingly there are three kinds of integrations. One is called as path or line integration, same thing, that is over path, right. Then next is surface integration, then next is the volume integration. These three variety of integrations are there, you will come across in solving physics problems, right. If it is over area, then it will be area integration. For example, if let's say for example there is a sphere, right, the total area you know, what is the area of this sphere? 4 pi r square, surface area. So, if I will take an elementary area of dr, integrate over the whole area, then it should go to 4 pi r square. That is what kind of integration? Surface, right. Similarly, if this length is let us say L and I will take an elementary length dl over length, if I integrate, then it should give you L, total length, that is path integration. The path may be straight or whatever it may be, right. That is for line integration or path integration. Similarly, if it is volume, suppose you take the volume of the sphere, then it will be 4 by 3 pi r cube, right. Then what to do? You have to take an elementary volume first, small volume, then integrate over the whole volume, that will give you this value. Then you have to go for what kind of integration? Volume integration, right. So, therefore, depending on the situation, you have to put the symbol. If it is path, you can write 1, if it is 2 dimension surface, if it is 3, then this 3 dimension, or else you can write this is length, this is surface, this is volume, as you like, right. That will tell you what kind of integration you are doing, because if you are writing here length, then obviously this refers to length, but if you go for area, then there should be two variables, dx, dy, but if it is volume integration, then there should be dx, dy, dz. That is why if volume 3 dimension, if area 2 dimension, if length 1 dimension, accordingly you have to integrate it, right. Similarly, as I told you last that day also, if it is from A to B over certain path, right, then how much is the value of this, there is a corollary I am writing here. If you are going from A to B, let us say del t, then dot dl, then how much you will get? Gradient of a scalar function t dot length. That length is really the path across which you will travel. So, gradient of vector scalar is a vector, right, and dl is also a vector, dot product to vector is a scalar. But when you go for the integration, how much you will get here? What is the value of that kind of integration? If it is from a to b, then ultimately you will get t of b minus t of a, right, t of b minus t of a. And similarly, if it is closed path, that also I told, closed path, then it must be 0, because starting point is same as the ending point, then only it is closed, and for any closed path it must be 0, right. So, these are corollaries, and similarly call related also there. What will be the value of this del cross V, then dot dA, surface, area is surface. So, this del cross V, vector field is V over area dA, but the integration is for volume. Then now how much will the value? Whether it depends on the whole volume or only it will depend on the line. You might have know about some theorems relevant to volume to surface integration, surface to volume integration, like Stokes theorem, where one can be converted to other, surface to volume, volume to surface. Then like that, what you will get here? It depends on the boundary only, it never refers to the volume, only peripheral boundary, line, length. And similarly, if you will go, then it is, if you are doing it for a closed surface like sphere, if it is open like this, it is different, it is only across the boundary, across the line, right. If you integrate it, it will only give you in this line. That is probably Stokes theorem, right. You are getting for volume, but you will get only across the line. But if it is a closed path, it is not closed, it is open here. But when it is closed like this, then ultimately this will give you 0, right. These things are there in your book also, you can refer. Everything is there in the book, nothing new, right. But try to understand what the meanings are, because these are all applicable in magnetism and electricity, right. So, you know now curvilinear coordinate, polar coordinate, and integration, differentiation, relations. But just here we told in terms of vector and scalar field, there you will tell in terms of electric field and magnetic field. That is the only difference, right. But the similar, that is why first is vector analysis calculus, then proceed for the electricity and magnetism, because they are all vectors. And you see, when you are telling electric field and potential, one is vector, other is scalar. Now you can correlate them. Unless you know these relations, how can you correlate? One is vector field intensity, another is scalar field potential, may it be magnetic or electric. And you know this electric field intensity can be expressed in terms of potential, and what that relation is? Gradient. Gradient of potential at a point is nothing but the intensity. So, that is the reason why you have to understand first what do you mean by gradient. Gradient of a scalar function at a point means it is a maximum rate of change that occurs in that direction, which is a vector, and that vector here is electric field intensity, if it is electric field. But if it is magnetic field, then it is magnetic field intensity and magnetic potential, same thing. So, depending on the field, you have to relate these quantities. Potential is scalar, intensity is vector, and you know the relation between these two. Relation only is gradient of scalar must be a vector, right. So, in that way we will proceed for the rest things, but you refer the book. I am telling you the page numbers, go through the pages and see it, all are there. Whatever I have discussed here, everything is there in the book. Of course, I have the third edition, I do not know which edition you have. According to third edition I am telling, right. You refer to page 63 to 75, there you will get everything relevant to this integration, differentiation, curvilinear coordinates, and how you can express gradient of a scalar function in terms of r theta phi, curvilinear coordinates. We have no in terms of Cartesian coordinates, but again you have to write in terms of curvilinear coordinates, gradient, curl, divergence in terms of r theta phi, like. So, these are there, you refer the book and try to understand them, right. And one more thing, all of you might have know about the delta function, right. What is that delta function? Anybody have idea about it? What do you mean by a delta function? In mathematics you might have learned it, right? What do you mean by that delta function? What basically it tells? Huh? Suppose there is a quantity which varies in two ways, in this direction and this direction, right? What that function basically tells. If I will write here del x, means this is x direction, right? This is function, delta function. So when you can tell it is a delta function? I cannot write x. If I will write fx, it is any function, right? If I will write fx, it is any function. That depends what way you are defining that function. But when I am telling it is delta function, I cannot think about them, right? It has different meaning. So then what is that meaning implied by the delta function? Yes, if you take this point at the origin, you can tell, then the area if you find, it is almost coming to be 1. But if you go other than that, it vanishes, right? At that point only it has some value that is 1, but if you go except this point, everywhere it is vanishing, 0. Then only that function is a delta function, right? That means if you are writing delta of x, then it has two values, 0 and 1, no other value, right? Either 0 or 1. So when 0, if it is beyond that point, but if it is at that point, then it must be 1. So that is the delta function, but it cannot be possible for any function, right? You cannot tell that. For delta function, it is a must. It is 1 at one point, that is the origin, and other than that, if you go anywhere, it will vanish, no value. Then that kind of function is called as the delta function. It has also importance in electricity and magnetism, right? So these are there, you try to learn it, then next time onwards you will start electrostatics.